Hey, it's good to see you again. Today we're going to talk about the classic 1911. I've had a couple of people ask me about how I field strip this. One guy was saying that he wanted to buy one, but they got talked out of it because somebody told him it's too hard to field strip and clean. So I thought, we'd take a few minutes and just basically do a video on field stripping. It's really not hard. It's not as easy as stripping like a polymer frame pistol like a Glock or something of that nature. There's a few more steps. There's some things to watch out for. But I mean, you go to the end of this and you will understand how to field strip one and how to put one back together. Now, I am not the guy that can sit in a dark room with my eyes closed and do this. But I have done this a lot of times over the years. And I'll show you the way that I do it. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, here we go. First thing we're going to do is a safety check. Okay, we're going to take the magazine out. We are going to pull the slide back and visually check the chamber. Make sure it is empty. This one is empty. Okay, the first step in field stripping this is to take the tension off of the spring, the recoil spring, and you release that up here with the spring plug. Now, on top of this is the barrel bushing. The barrel bushing is what actually holds the plug in place, keeping that spring tension in there. This thing has got to be kept under control when you take it apart, because if this slips off your finger, that spring and this plug is going to fly into who knows where, somewhere across the room. All right, you can do this with your fingers. Push it down and turn this while you're holding the tension and then slowly release this. A lot of people do it. I started using this tool. I bought this at a gun store. You can get them at, I think, Bass Pro and Cabela's also. And this is just to help you keep that spring under control. Now, it's made so that you can just take and put it on the front of the gun and twist it, and that works fine. The way I use it is I put it on the table. I'll put the gun down into it, like that, twist it. Let's see here. You hear that pop? Spring's loose now, okay? I like that technique simply because if somehow it manages to get away from you, it's all right there on the table. It's not flying off throughout the room. All right, so we've got spring out, plug out. Now we've got to get the slide off. To do that, we have to take out the slide lock lever. On the back side of this, you see a button. That button's actually the end of a rod on the slide lock. The way that we're going to do this is there is a round or a kind of a crescent-shaped cutout behind the slide lock cutout. That cutout has to line up with the end of the slide lock lever. You can see right there. Okay, and once that's lined up, you push this button, and that raises that lever, and you can pull it out, just like that. Okay, and as you see, that button is actually the end of the rod on the slide lock lever. Now, with that out, this will just slide right off the frame. Okay, now we have a loose guide rod, so that can come out. We have to take the barrel bushing out, so that the barrel itself can be taken out. Now, the barrel has this toggle on here that is in the upright position when you assemble the pistol, but to take the barrel out, you need to push that forward so that it lays down, and then the barrel comes out from the front of the gun. Okay, so it comes out like that. So now, got the whole thing disassembled. It's ready to clean or whatever you're trying to do with it. Let's put it back together. It's just the whole thing in reverse. Barrel's going to slide in, toggle goes up. The spring guide, or guide rod, is going to go in from the back. Now, let me show you one thing. There is also a crescent-shaped cut in the bottom of that. That goes down against the barrel. So that's going to slide back in there. And that goes down like that. Now we are, let's see, put the barrel bushing back in. I'm going to take this back out. Put the barrel bushing back in, turn it to the side so it's out of the way of the guide rod. Mostly. Okay, so guide rod's back in, barrel link is up. Okay, now with that set up like that, we can take and push the, just slide this back onto the rails like that, and it's back together. Now we need to put that slide lock lever back in. So we need to slide this back, and this hole you'll be able to see all the way through it when the link is lined up, and you can just drop that in there. Then we're going to slide the little crescent cut back over that, move that up, snap it in. And you can see the buttons back. This is in all the way, so now the thing is hooked back together. All right, now we're going to put the spring back in it. There is a closed end to the spring, and there is an open end. The closed end goes to the back. So you're going to put that on the guide rod and push it down. Now we're going to put the plug back on it, and again, this is where you got to keep control of this thing. We're going to push it down into the slide, and I'm going to turn that just a little bit. Now I'm just barely hooking this thing. Okay, so that's why I like to use this thing. Still. All right, there it is. It's back together. Works fine. All right, so that's it. That's how you take it apart. That's how you put it back together. Now, I'm sure there's people that do it in a little different order. I know some people like to have the spring already in it when they're putting it back on. I don't. I find this to be an easier way to do it. But that's how I do it. That's how I've been doing it for several years. So there you go. All right, that's it. That's, and you know, like I said, there are people that do it slightly different than I do, but that's the way that I do it, and it works. If you like what we do here on the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you would. You might want to hit the bell so that you know when we put a new video up. Other than that, I hope you got something out of this. See you next time.